Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast. Brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agents in Clinton. A new Clinton Lake Marina owner is operating as the official sale of the marina continues to play out. DeWitt County Board Chair Dan Matthews indicates the new ownership group is operating on a short-term lease agreement while the sale of the marina gets finalized. Matthews indicates the sale last month was pushed back a week to give board members a chance to thoroughly review the agreement.
We brought the final purchase agreement to the full board at the May meeting, and there was still a few questions left, so there was no need to rush into. A couple of members had just received the purchase agreement the night before, and so really I wasn't going to call a vote, or any of us call a vote on something that a board member felt they didn't have time to review it and understand everything, get their questions answered. So we moved that to the following week, which was last Thursday now. So that did get approved by the full board. And then we also approved a short-term lease agreement so that the new owner, the buyer, Sullivan Marina, which will now be Clinton Marina and Campground LLC, could go ahead and get out there and start selling gas and looking at the property and seeing what repairs and things need to be, made as we get ready to, Memorial Day kind of kicked off the summer season at boating. And so a lot of people have their boats out there now compared to just a couple of weeks ago.
According to Matthews, things at the marina are moving fast. The new owner has been fielding questions from renters regarding fees and other matters. He anticipates some improvements to be made out there as well.
We had a quick meeting out there, the Marina Committee, just to see what was going on out there and see how we could, what other information we needed to get to the new owner. So that was approved. They're out there now. They have their own Facebook page. They've been posting their hours. They're out there every day. And so people can now start getting more answers. There's been a lot of people asking about, transient boat rentals, which there's about 14 spots out there that people can rent for, a day or two over the weekend. I think maybe up to a week. New owner can obviously decide however they want to do those type of rentals. There's people wanting to put dry land storage boats out there. So we wanted to get that turned over as quickly as we could. Mm-hmm. So that all came about after last Thursday's meeting. So, I know there's been a lot of people stopping in and to meet them, and going to have staff member out there full time, living out there, so that around the clock they'll have support for any issues that come up, just like we did before. There's a couple apartments up above the main building, and I don't know all the renovations, but the owner last night was speaking to some boaters about a major renovation coming to the building here shortly. So they're ready to get moving along and start bringing, a lot of new things to the marina, amenities for the slip renters and boat rentals, boat sales, things like that, the reason we chose to sell the marina, and so they could get it moving along.
The closing of the sale of the marina should happen in short order. The sale itself came under scrutiny by the county board in May due to an issue on slip rental fees, which Matthews discussed recently.
That was a question that the committee talked about well back in December. Do we collect rents? Do we wait for a new owner? Well, not knowing if the marina was going to be sold or not, we said let's go ahead and collect the slip renters because their agreements run out the end of February. So let's keep those in place so people didn't have to move their boats, so that people had continuous agreements, and those would be prorated if we sold the marina. If we didn't sell the marina, then they would go to, if the county decided they were going to run it, they'd already be collected, the agreements would be in place. So it's just trying to make a smooth transition whether the marina was sold or not. The only thing that the special meeting was simply to approve the purchase agreement and then to approve the short-term lease. There was no other agenda items on there for last Thursday. So now we anticipate, the closing sometime in the next 30 days, probably less, the final closing after the, agreement had to be signed first to get the final loan information and all that, like you would on any other, purchase. So okay. I would think it'd be finalized probably in the next 30 days or shorter.
Matthews recently announced he will not withdraw his name from the November ballot for re-election on the county board. The first year is in the books for Clinton's first-year elementary principal, Jessica Patrick. At Lincoln and Douglas Elementary Schools this year, Mrs. Patrick was focused on community engagement and getting to know the families of her school.
I think for me, it was a lot of focus on family engagement. So once again, just getting to know the families, having them come in the buildings. Our family engagement nights, I think, were a huge success. It was so much fun to see the parents having kids or fun right alongside their kids. We were able to pass out books and math kits. So just anything that we can do to strengthen that homeschool alignment, I'm all about it. I feel like there's always so many layers, and I feel like I'll plan to be here for a long, long time. And I feel like you always continue to learn about your community, just the resources that are here, the ways that people are willing to help one another. It's just been truly amazing. I've gone to the table with ideas for different things like our family nights or camp kindergarten, and everyone comes to me with, oh, we could talk to this person, and I'm sure they could help out with this. And everyone just seems so willing to help.
Mrs. Patrick introduced a new program this year called Camp Kindergarten, and on the WHOW Morning Show Monday told Regional Radio she thought it went very well.
I think Camp Kindergarten was probably the crowning achievement for all of us for the school year, because it was really a culmination of everybody coming together. And that's been the focus for this year, was pulling our two buildings together. Better together was our theme. So Camp Kindergarten was mid-April, and that was definitely the highlight, to really see everyone working together. It didn't matter what grade level teachers taught. Everyone was participating in some way, shape, or form. It really was the epitome of like all hands on deck. Everyone had a role. They played it. They helped however they could. We ended up having about 60 new kindergartners coming through. So these will be kindergartners coming in August.
Right.
But this gave them the opportunity to get inside the school buildings, meet a lot of the teachers, visit the kindergarten classrooms. It gave our teachers an opportunity just to see where some of their skills were at.
Right.
And then while they were doing that, I was talking with families and just giving them some ideas of, here's what the school day will look like for your kindergarten in August. And here are some ways that you can help strengthen what we're doing at school by aligning it at home. It was just a great opportunity all around for everybody involved. Well, that day we had about 60 come through, but since then we've had community members reach out and say that they couldn't come. So they've come in to do separate screenings. We've partnered with other private preschools in the area. So since then we've seen about 90 kids come through. And for a kindergarten class total between both buildings, that's about 110, 120. That's almost our entire kindergarten class that we've already laid eyes on. We've already met, started building those relationships. So that's huge. As far as expectations, I try to keep it pretty manageable. Something brand new for our buildings. I didn't want staff to be disappointed if we didn't have a huge turnout, but I think we were all blown away with the turnout and how well it was received. And time again, I'm proved that we can plan things, and Clinton shows up.
To wrap up the school year, Patrick says they were able to partner with the Clinton Community Education Foundation for Read Across Clinton for that book distribution, but she also was able to secure a grant to give kids access to more books over the summer.
We were super grateful to have Read Across Clinton. Anytime that we can get books in their hands is huge. Building their home libraries is super important. There's book ownership and letting them pick the books out that they pick. So each student was able to get a couple books from Read Across Clinton, and then we just kind of added to that with some of our grant funds, and most of our kids were able to take home 7 or 8 books that they were able to pick out.
Nice.
I tried to find a mixture of fiction, nonfiction books. The nonfiction books are always super popular. They love looking at pictures of animals and things like that. And then they all have a reading journal that they took home. So I told them if they want to complete the reading journal and bring it back to me in August, or for our first going to second, take it to CES, they'll get it to me, and we'll pick out a few kiddos to win a gift card at Sweet Maze.
On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Patrick also emphasized the importance of reading over the summer for the kids in her building and those coming in. She also discussed what parents can do to prepare kids for school this fall. We'll have more from Mrs. Patrick on that in the weeks ahead on Regional Radio. News time is 17 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. We've got plenty more to get to coming up on the morning show.
We value your trust in us. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Yes, our goal is to earn your trust each and every day. That's why we have prices posted for each car, truck, and SUV, new or used, on our lot or on our website. Currently, we have a great selection of new and used Silverados priced to move in 1,500, 2,500, or 3,500s. Come see us and all our inventory. Baum Chevrolet Buick. We want to be your trusted transportation option. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News time 17 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Illinois finally had a week of below normal rainfall, allowing farmers to nearly finish planting. State crop statistician Mark Schleusner indicates temperatures were also above normal for the week, allowing for nearly 5 days suitable for field work.
Temperatures were above normal, but rainfall was below normal last week in Illinois. Temperatures averaged 71.6 degrees across the state, and that was 2.4 degrees above normal. Rainfall averaged 2/3 of an inch, and that was 1/4 inch below normal. Northern parts of Illinois had above average rainfall, but the rest of the prairie state was drier than normal. There were 4.7 days suitable for fieldwork around the state last week, and topsoil moisture declined to be rated 10% short, 72 adequate, and 18% surplus.
Soybean planting is moving along. Schleusner indicates the condition of the crop is better than it was a year ago, and 87% is finished, moving ahead of the yearly average.
Soybean planting advanced by 6 points and reached 87% finished compared to 84 normally. 69% of soybean acres have emerged compared to 71 for the 5-year average. Soybean condition ratings improved and were rated 4% poor, 27 fair, 56 good, and 13% excellent. That is better than 1 year ago.
Corn planting is nearly complete, and Schleusner notes the corn planting progress has now also outpaced the yearly average.
Corn planting reached 93% finished. That compares to 92 for the 5-year average. 87% of corn acres have emerged, and that is 2 points ahead of normal pace. Corn conditions improved slightly and were rated 4% poor, 22 fair, 56 good, and 18% excellent. That is also better than 1 year ago.
Winter wheat harvest is underway in Illinois. Schleusner indicates the condition of the crop is better than it was a year ago.
Winter wheat harvest has begun in Illinois. NASS estimates that 6% of acres have been harvested as of Sunday. That compares to 1% for the 5-year average. The condition of the Illinois winter wheat crop was rated 1% poor, 22 fair, 61 good, and 16% excellent. That is better than 1 year ago.
And pasture conditions improved from a year ago, while alfalfa hay is 72% finished harvesting. An important milestone for the 4-H Memorial Camp in Monticello this year. The site celebrates its 75th anniversary this summer, says camp director Andy Davis.
So back in 1946, Robert Allerton decided to make a great big donation to the University of Illinois of what's now Allerton Park and 4-H Memorial Camp. And he donated 250 acres to be used as a youth camp. And 4-H got involved right away. And they actually started camping out here in 1948 in tents. They had a little shelter as they were getting the property kind of put together and developed, all via donations from 4-Hers and folks around the state. And in 1950, they did an official dedication on our dining hall and the rest of the facility. And 4-H Memorial Camp is here in memory of 4-H members who died in World War II. So that's why we're here. That's why we're called Memorial Camp. And we're getting ready. We're prepping up for a 75-year anniversary for next year. We're still in the planning process for that, but we're pretty excited about that. We actually did an interview here this winter with one of the ladies who was one of the original campers back in 1948. She still lives here local, and she came in and told us the stories about being in the tents when they blew over during the storms. And all these folks are just kind of coming out of the woodwork. They're finding out that we're doing this. They're bringing out stories. People have been dropping off scrapbooks and old memorabilia. It's getting pretty fun.
The 4-H Memorial Camp has also made Newsweek's list of America's best summer camps for 2024. The Christian County Historical Society is announcing the return of the Taylorville Municipal Band performing Wednesday nights this summer at 7 o'clock. The opening concert is next Wednesday, June the 19th, at the Historical Society. President of the Christian County Historical Society, Jody Heberling, says this is the second annual year for the municipal band to play shows through the summer.
We're really excited to have them back again this year. For a long time, they've hopped around to several different places, and they've kind of settled in, and everybody seems to like coming out there. We have a nice shady area, and we seem to have enough parking, and it works out real nice. They play on Wednesday evenings at 7 o'clock. They start out on June the 19th, and they run to the first part of August. Every Wednesday. I think they'll probably miss around the 4th of July, and there's some like that they do miss, but it's pretty much every Wednesday night, and as long as it's not raining or thundering, they play, and it's just a great opportunity to come out and enjoy an evening of music.
Heberling describes the atmosphere at the Historic Society, surrounded by 8 historical buildings, being among nature and joining friends and community to enjoy the music and refreshments.
This will be the second year that they've started out with us, and we hope to keep them out there. Everybody seems to be happy, and it is a nice setting, and there's plenty of shade, and it's grass and not rocks, and they've tried different places, but they seem to have settled in with us. There's clarinets, French horns, the brass, tuba.
They do strings. Or do they have a string segment there?
There's a couple of guitars in it, so it's a full circle musical experience, and they usually focus on different eras of music every week. So, and it's always a pleasant evening. Just sit and listen.
Attendees will hear stylings of all types from the municipal band. Heberling notes that themed nights have brought sounds like Disney movie soundtracks to the stage.
They usually do themed, like they do a children's night, which is usually the last one in August, which is usually Disney movie themes. They usually have a big band night, and I'm not sure what they've got planned this year, but they kind of have a program they present, and it's usually about 6 songs or so, and they usually last a little bit after 8, and it's just a nice hour to get out and enjoy the community and friends from the community. You run into people you haven't seen.
Keep up with all the programs and information about the Christian County Historical Society by finding them on Facebook. The city of Shelbyville held their annual Loop Lake Shelbyville bike ride Saturday, which brought to the public by the Friends of the Lake Shelbyville and United States Army Corps of Engineers. Ashley Flory, the lead natural resource specialist with the Corps, broke down some of the new features that were at this year's bike ride.
This year we changed things up a little bit. We used to have a route that just went to Findlay and back. We had another route that kind of went towards Lone Point to Findlay and back to give people some different mileage. But this year we just stuck it out with 3 mileage, 30 miles, 48, and 65. So the 30 mile is a new one. So that ride is actually going to go towards Findlay and then cross the Findlay Bridge, head towards Wolf Creek, go by the Goat Tower, and then join up with the rest of the group at Sand Creek. So we're looking forward to that. In the past, if you did the 11 mile or the 22 mile or the 34 mile, you didn't get to ferry across the lake at Lithia Springs, but now this year anyone who does the ride actually gets to ferry across the lake. So everyone will end up in Lithia Springs. We'll ferry them across on Lithia Springs Marina's party barge. We ferry them across, they get off at Dam West, and then they finish riding back to the visitor center.
With up to 20 bike riders on the ferry across Lithia Springs at a time, Flory says it's a very interesting ride each year.
We'll be at the marina by 8:30, so I think typically it kind of depends on when people come in waves, usually. So, usually though they put, 15 to 20 people, on the boat. So
that's
quite a few. Yeah. So it doesn't take too long, but it's just it's just a very, very unique ride that we have here at Lake Shelbyville.
Fleury thanked the Friends of the Lake Shelbyville and the numerous area business sponsors who made the ride possible this year.
The thing with these events that we have, none of it would be possible without our Friends of Lake Shelbyville group. They help put on the event. We also have different sponsors that help sponsor it. This year we have the hospital. HSHS is doing a water station, and then they sponsored it as well. Phoenix Physical Therapy does a water station in Findlay, and they sponsor it as well. Bethany Fire Department, they let us, use their facilities. The water station's out front, and then they can go inside and use the bathroom. And same thing in Findlay, the old church in Findlay opens up the bathroom for the folks to do it. And Monocle's Pizza, we just have a ton of sponsors that really help out for the event. And then we've got door prizes that's been donated by Bike and Hike in Effingham.
Fleury, of course, thanks all those who participated in the bike ride this past Saturday. The 2024 IHSA State Bass Fishing Championships hail from the western suburbs. Joseph Drover is the bass fishing coach at Wheaton North.
Oh, man, it was an incredible weekend. Just that lake fish is tough. So they put together 2 good bags, and they were just jacked. They weren't in the top 10 on that first day, and kind of clawed back on the second day and really just hung in there through the whole way in. So it was a very exciting weekend, and the kids are still riding that high from it.
How awesome is it that the Illinois High School Association decided to create this state tournament series in bass fishing? I think it debuted somewhere around 2009.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, it just gives everybody an opportunity to get involved in something. And, the kids who just love the fish, gives them just something to compete in. And the camaraderie down at the tournament is next to none. I mean, even after the day of fishing, you see all the guys getting together, talking about what's going on, and just a really cool experience for everybody who's involved in it. The guys that were on the winning boat, they are out every day. They're pond hopping, going to local forest preserves, wherever it might be. We had our sectional out at Bussy Woods, and the weights that came out of there, they were up there with, Newton got us, but they were up there with the rest of the big bodies of water. So there's plenty of opportunities to get out on the water up here. The Fox Chain's a great spot. I've got Braidwood up this way, the Splains River. So they find an opportunity to get out and just get the practice in.
The IHSA Bass Fishing State Finals were May 17th and 18th at Carlisle Lake. 324 IHSA member schools now have bass fishing programs. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News.